Good evening, everyone. Welcome to episode number 33.
33.
Oh my God, I was having a moment. Episode 33 of Restitching the Tapestry.
I can't believe we made it.
I know, I can't believe we made it either. Pretty soon it's going to be like episode 50, and we're going to be like, what's happening right now? Um, so, tonight's episode, obviously, we wanted it to be kind of a. Lighter hearted episode in a way because it's going to be focusing on how significant music is to both of us because we both very much love music and and it's going to give each of us an opportunity to gush about our favorite musicians. And you know me from my videos, I can gush at length about my favorite musicians, so mentally prepare yourselves for that. So Ari, do you want to share with everybody your tech upgrades?
Oh my God. So I don't know if you noticed my video is a lot clearer than it usually is. I have bought a new desktop with built-in web camera. So new upgrades. And I have Sony Vegas on my computer now. So my videos are going to be of a higher caliber now. But I have a new desktop. So yeah,
I am
because
super
I got my
excited.
stimulus.
That stimmy, woo. You've been using yours on way more productive things than I've been using mine on. For me, it's just been, candles and wax warmers and
Coffee
and
makers.
stuff. And coffee
Yours,
makers.
although your coffee maker sounds really good.
I am I'm probably going to be the only one using it, but I don't care. For the Ari and I were talking before this. I bought a coffee maker that is like an espresso machine, but it also makes like single cup servings of coffee. It makes servings of coffee in like a carafe. It like comes with what comes with it. It also has like a milk steamer on it. It has all the bells and whistles, and I am so excited because I've been wanting a latte. So hopefully let's hope that it when I get it, it works well and everything is perfect. So right now, so far, we do have Arpy and Leo here. It's good to see both of you. Let's hope that we have some additional people tune in as we continue talking tonight. Before we move on to talking about the our topic for this evening, we do, of course, want to make sure that we cover our mission statement. So, many witness different atrocities, large or small, that fray the social fabric around us. Much of the time, many may feel powerless and know not how to address such things. This fray has gotten worse with the rise of social media, being able to share a trauma collectively as it goes viral in real time. That collective grief is experienced on a mass scale. So that kind of begs the question of what can we do to help mend the communities that are adversely affected by these social tragedies of sorts. And many of these tragedies are initiated by people who are in privileged groups who don't admit their involvement. So our goal with this show is to restitch the tapestry together through conversation, creativity, and action. Our goal is to help educate ourselves, but also maybe help educate those who listen by introducing them to something that they may not be familiar with. And we've been really wanting to do this episode tonight, specifically, not only because it's lighthearted, but music, much like poetry, can serve as a very significant commentary for the social things happening in the world around us. It can be used to speak out against things, it can be used to speak in favor of such things. And music can simply exist without fulfilling either of those. It just can exist for the sake of existing. So yeah. Now, I guess to get our thoughts going with regard to music, my immediate question to start us off is how has music shaped you over the years and how does it stay significant for you now? And P.S. Hi, Tiffany Gray. It's good to see you, my
Hi,
dear.
Tiffany. Oh, how does music shape you? Well, it definitely has Music shaped me because I first listened to a lot of punk music during my teenage years, and it really got me through a lot of dark times. Listening to a lot of loud, like screaming music, and it was just like it kind of like almost like droned out all of the negativity that I was experiencing. It was just like I would go to these mosh pits and like shove people around and just like get out all of this like teenage angst and anger that I was experiencing and just deal with like all of this like internal frustration that I was dealing with at any given point. And it just as I got older, it sort of softened and I started listening more towards music that I'd listened to when I was younger, which was like 90s music and like more Britney Spears and pop music and like Lady Gaga
Uh,
and
anyway, sorry.
and so it is sort of progressed into like kind of an acceptance of self uh, and it just became more of a softer side and then it progressed into like a folk stage where I kind of am now. It's like folk uh rock um and R&B is kind of where I'm at right now.
That's a really interesting combination. But I mean, it just goes to show you how like versatile people's tastes can be, right? So, like now that I was trying to think about what I was going to say in response to this question while you were talking, and I'm kind of just like, this is a I don't know, maybe I worded this question too vastly. I don't know. Tiffany, by the way, actually, Tiffany, we met through music, actually, through our love of Celtic Woman, and I'm going to talk about that here in just a moment, because I know that is a musical group that really has shaped Tiffany too. So, when I was in middle school and early high school, instrumental music was like all that I would listen to. Everybody thought I was weird because I would listen to soundtracks, I would listen to musical scores. I was a band geek. Like I was in bands, so like I kind of was just really attuned to listening to music without lyrics. I don't know, right? So like I spent a lot of my time listening to Godzilla soundtracks. The soundtracks for the 90s Mothra trilogy. Those are like my favorites. I've worn out CDs of those. The Lord of the Rings soundtracks, I've listened to those at length as well. And they kind of, like, I think soundtracks for me were very meaningful because I didn't get caught up in lyrics. Instead, the music itself kind of transported me to a different place altogether. Like, I felt like I was in Middle Earth, or I felt like I was in, someplace else. And that really just again was my escape, right? Now, as I got into high school and got more rebellious, well, actually I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. The evolution or the step between me listening to musical scores and then jumping to angsty music, I listened to slower music that did incorporate lyrics like Celtic Woman. Celtic Woman was something that I was obsessed with. In fact, that was my first concert I ever went to. Um, and I used to listen to Enya. I still listen to both, but they were kind of like my foot in the door when it came to like lyrical music. And then after a while when I was in high school, this was like my sophomore year, because I don't know, like I didn't feel like I didn't fit in, so I wanted to do everything that I could to make people leave me alone. And part of it was either seeming super nerdy or seeming scary sometimes, and I couldn't decide which it was. That's when I started listening to harder music. That's when I started getting really obsessed with Evanescence. I got really obsessed with Linkin Park. I got really obsessed with like emo bands like Senses Fail. AFI, what else? Let me think. Like just like that harder music that was like F the world, everything is horrible, blah 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 blah. Green Day, that's one that I forgot about. I used to listen to Green Day a lot. And Billy Joel Armstrong was part of my gay awakening.
Love Green Day.
Yes, yes. I could talk at length about Green Day. But like at that point, like high school and then toward the end of high school entering college, like I was just super rebellious. Ari remembers me at my rebellious apex my first year of college with long hair and just angstiness. And I really didn't want to listen to anything mainstream until I started getting into pop musicians like Lady Gaga and Adam Lambert. I know Arpy just asked about Adam Lambert. I super obsessed with him. Like hella obsessed with them. Of course, at first, because they were pop music, I was just like, everybody's listening to this. It's stupid. Like I don't want to be a part of the popular crowd.
It's true. Yeah, that's how it was for me too. I used to like really hate on them a lot in high school, and then I slowly like it flowed into it and I was like, well, they aren't that
Oh yeah.
bad.
Well, like I remember in it was what was it? 2008, my second year in college. That's when Lady Gaga started getting popular, and I remember hearing like Poker Face all the time, Just Dance all the time. Those are her early songs that she's really known for. And I was just like, oh God, these, Greek life party goers are doing nothing but listening to this ridiculousness. So then I was like, I started watching Lady Gaga interviews, music videos, and that's when I kind of got engrossed because I was just like, this is actually a fascinating human being. And then I got really obsessed with the music. So usually when I get obsessed with artists, it's because of me kind of delving a little bit deeper, listening to other music of theirs, watching their interviews, kind of understanding who they are as a person. That's what really gets me
My
going.
first encounter with her was Bad Romance. And that's when I really got into her was Bad Romance. And like it was good.
Bad Romance is iconic. I remember it literally broke the internet when it came out. Everybody either thought that it was amazing or everybody thought that it was some sort of Illuminati, satanic thing, some sort of ritual or something. Let's see, looking at the comments, Leo, I think I might have slightly become a slight stand for BTS music. I do enjoy K-pop music, and J-pop music. I do enjoy BTS. I think I like Blackpink more than GPS. BTS. Jesus criminy. Let's see. Arpy says it's in the vocals for me. Leo says that Dynamite by BTS touched my love for modern and new disco. New disco, that's a new genre that I've not heard of. Interesting. Arpy didn't like Lady Gaga at first either, but then found enlightenment like we did.
I don't think I've heard a lot of BTS. I think that I've heard them maybe like 2 or 3 times, and I've liked them every time I've heard them, but like I haven't really encountered them very much because maybe I'm just too old to like.
Well, like I don't necessarily think it's that either of us are too old, but I really think that any type of Eastern Asian music market just really struggles to break into American mainstream music. Because I really feel like American music is very very boxy. That's why like artists like Gaga have been criticized because she's very fluid with genre and what she chooses to perform. But like finally like BTS and Blackpink and other groups like that are starting to have their music appear more over here because there's like a large legion of people that actually really enjoy K-pop and J-pop. So
I have seen a lot of K-pop on TikTok. Like I'll be scrolling through TikTok and I'll see K-pop on there.
oh yeah, K-pop is super popular on TikTok. For sure. I mean, if we think back on the events of last year, it was K-pop stans that sabotaged our former president's um, one speech. Remember his one public experience during a pandemic. So,
It's true, and a lot of K-pop people will they'll use K-pop videos to elevate they'll put the video up and then they'll do like a cause that they're invested in, like
mhm.
indigenous women being murdered or some cause like that. And they'll use the video like overlaid with words or a sound that you have to click on and it'll talk about these issues.
Yeah, I've seen that too. I think, like, I mean, I think that's another way that people can, I don't know, get out their message, but also use like this multimedia way of presenting it in a different way. RB, yes, of course. I'm glad that you got a copy of my book. Yay. Ellen is
Baby Metal.
here.
Baby
Ellen,
Metal is an awesome band.
I agree. Ellen is here from all the way over in Europe. So it's like, it's got to be like super early over there for you. I think it's very early for you over there. So Leo says new disco is modernized disco with some more electronic elements. New, yeah, new typically means electronic elements, kind of like new metal, which Evanescence in Linkin Park. So like electronicized elements definitely are what qualify that. So I guess that makes sense then completely. And going back to what Shayna said about J metal, I do love baby metal. I love another band that I really love is Wagaki Band. Um, Evanescence just collaborated with them. I've actually listened to Wagaki Band before, but they take like traditional Japanese instruments and incorporate them into like metal music, and it's like this really cool sonic soundscape. Um,
What?
it is mind blowing. It is amazing. I'll have to send some to you, Ari. It's
That sounds so good.
um Tiffany's heard some gorgeous K-pop ballads, and apparently it's almost 2 a.m. over there. I applaud you. I can barely stay up past 10 p.m. at this point in my life. um, so yeah, like I really think that and I know we're gonna talk about this a little bit more, but I really feel like the American music scape shifts so quickly. Like people get bored of things here so quickly. But if you look at places like Europe and Asia and Australia and South America, like certain genres of music retain their popularity there even after we over here get bored with things. Like for example, like Euro dance music is still popular in Europe and Australia, and metal and rock music is still super duper popular in Europe, Australia, and Asia. Like all of that stuff is popular over there, but over here, like those genres are kind of like people don't really consider them anymore, you know, like it's more a lot of EDM or indie pop or a whole variety of different genres. So anyway, but I digress. So RP asks, do you guys like Nirvana and Muse? I wasn't a Nirvana fan at first. In middle school and high school, I was obsessed with 80s glam metal. I do, and I would say that I think I like Nirvana better than Muse, but I do appreciate both of them.
So during my punk phase in middle school and high school, I listened to a lot of rock music, and I am kind of in a rock phase right now. So I do listen to quite a bit of Nirvana, and I listen to some Muse, but not very much Muse. I think maybe I have a rotation of like 3 or 4 songs of theirs that I'll listen to. Um, so it's not a very large catalog of theirs that I listen to, but
Mhm.
I do have some songs that I listen to. Uh, but I also like 80s glam metal, but
Oh
not.
gosh, me too. Like, I don't know. Like, I really have a appreciation for all genre. I mean, the only genres that I don't really like country music at all. Like, don't get me wrong, like if there's like a pop country song in the background, I might listen to it. Like if it's like 90s country, like some good old Shania or Faith Hill. Who else? Why am I
Johnny
blanking?
Cash.
Johnny Cash. I do love me some Johnny Cash sometimes. Um, oh my gosh, why am I blanking? Can you tell that I don't listen to country music super duper a lot? Um, I do enjoy I do enjoy the Chicks, who used to be the Dixie Chicks. I like them. I appreciate their advocacy and their activism in their music. Country music is a very difficult genre to do that in. Um, Ellen's like, you really can't dislike 80s glam metal. Yes. Like, are you
I
even
might listen to
human?
some Garth Brooks every so often, and Travis Tritt but that's like old. It's like old country
Yeah,
music, like
yeah.
middle 90s country. Um, but like, I don't know. I'm not a big
Um,
country music fan either. You have to
my
be a certain type of person to be a country music fan.
my
And
partner loves Florida Georgia Line, and I can't do Florida Georgia Line. If the topics of your songs are going to be lift kits and trucks and all that jazz, like I'm just suddenly disinterested because I'm just like, no. Don't get me wrong. Like, if you are a fan of them, anybody listening, I'm sure their music goes deeper than that. So I apologize if I, you know, destroyed somebody's dreams of Florida Georgia Line. So, okay, so there's a lot of comments coming in. Leo loves Mr. Wives, which I have actually seen Mr. Wives before open for someone. Who was it? Who did Mr. Wives open for that I saw? I can't remember off the top of my head, but I remember they were really good. Panic at the Disco. I do love me some Panic at the Disco. RP loved NSYNC and Backstreet Boys. Shayna loves Guns N' Roses. Tiffany was obsessed with ABBA and Ace of Base. I do love both of them too. Ace of Base is like, I remember sitting on an elementary school bus listening to like Ace of Base and just voguing basically my little gay soul in my
I saw the sign.
I love that song. It's just so catchy. Let's see. Ellen says European folk, like definitely greater than American country music. Yes, I do agree with that 100%.
Yes.
Do. Troye Sivan. My partner really loves Troye Sivan. Um, I I've listened to Troye Sivan a little bit, and I mean, he wonderful icon for the LGBTQ plus community, especially. I do have a secret obsession with 21 Pilots. So Leo, I can agree with you. Um, I 21 Pilots is a very interesting. Ari, are you familiar with 21 Pilots?
No, I'm not.
Basically, I consider them an alternative pop group. Like their music kind of teeters on the edge of being like rock and metal, but not quite getting there. Like it has its elements that are like really hard, but it also has like its elements that are super like catchy. I do appreciate their music, and they're very angsty.
I've heard of them, but I've never heard their music. So I've only heard 21 Pilots jokes. like people making jokes about 21 Pilots. So I've only heard like, oh yeah, I listened to 21 Pilots and then my car died or something.
Yeah, I've heard jokes about. I mean, I've heard jokes about every favorite musician that I have, but definitely 21 Pilots. Um, Ellen Wardrona has a new album this year, Dark Nordic Folk. It's amazing. Um, I know Ellen is also a very huge fan of Arcona, which is another phenomenal band. Um, I would characterize Arcona as definitely being what Ellen, would you say symphonic metal or just metal? I'll let you make the determination on that since you're way more familiar than I am. Shayna loves Avantasia. I think I pronounced that right. Avantasia, Nightwish, and Within Temptation. I especially love Within Temptation. Tiffany does love country music. I grew up listening to it, and then I added pop into my repertoire when I hit middle school. So, see, there are people who do appreciate country music, some good country music out there. Do. This is a very popular topic tonight, it seems, because we're getting a lot of comments, which I love.
Me too.
Funny, Ellen's like Arcona or GTFO. Pagan metal, yes. So funny thing, Ellen and I actually met for the first time when I was living in Missouri because Ellen weren't you I think you were attending an Arcona concert and you just decided to stay with me that one day and it was like this super bonding experience. I wish I could have gone with you to that concert, but um you guys are so funny. So Ari, okay, so I do have a question. Like, so moving back to discussion questions, because I've been like very much kind of going on tangents. Ari, I appreciate your fortitude in dealing with my tangents. So I do have a question about situations where you listen to specific types of music.
Okay.
Okay. So obviously, I think we've both established that we have a very diverse palette of musical preferences. So, how do your preferences shift based on what you're doing day to day or what you're feeling, so on and so forth?
Um, so when I'm feeling like really good, I tend to listen to a lot more like Fiona Apple, for instance. I love
Yes.
Fiona Apple. And
And
so
didn't
like
Fiona Apple just win like 2 Grammys, I think,
she did.
which is iconic. Like that is amazing.
Well, I think one for was it for Shamika?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think she won like best rock album or alternative album, something.
For Fetch the Bolt Cutters.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Anyway, continue.
It was such a good album. If you haven't listened to it, I highly suggest you listen to it. It's so
I
good.
listened to bits and pieces. It is really good. I feel like Fiona Apple is hella underrated.
She puts out an album once every 10 years, so you gotta win awards when you do put an album out. Anyway. Um, when I'm low, I tend to listen to uh, a lot of, well, I listen to a lot of different things, but like I'll listen to the Cranberries or Cigarettes After Sex or or the Cardigans.
hmm
But and
Good
then
selections.
usually when I'm driving, I'll listen to like Devin Gaffilian or or what's his name? Oh, I knew this was going to come up.
I keep thinking to myself I should have written a list or something.
Well, I have them picked out. Uh, it was Michael Kiwanuka. That's who it is.
Okay. What
Uh,
genre does Michael sing?
R&B.
R&B. Okay. I was gonna say I was fairly sure that was R&B, but I wanted to ask.
Yeah. So usually when I'm driving, I listen to a lot of R&B because I that's the station I listen to in the car.
So for me, when it comes to listening to music based, like I don't necessarily because I can listen to a whole variety of different music when I'm happy or sad. Like I can guarantee you, and this is much to the dismay of my partner, like Evanescence, for example, my favorite band, I can listen to them no matter what mood I'm in. And a lot of their music is like angry or sad. So I'm just like, my partner is always like, "Are you always feeling sad or angry?" And I'm like, "No, it's a bop. I just love bopping to it. Like I can, if I ever did karaoke, I can sing both parts to bring me to life like a champ." Just saying. It's just I enjoy the lyrics, the instrumentation, all of it. Like that's like I just obsess over things, you know. Um, but usually when I'm in a sad mood, I do gravitate toward heavier music like Linkin Park, Evanescence, like other like emo rock metal groups. If I'm feeling like soft and sad and not angry and sad, I might listen to Mary Lambert, who is one of my favorite spoken word artists slash musicians. Um, if I'm feeling in like a romantic mood, I also listen to Mary Lambert because she has some phenomenal loves, like LGBTQ plus themed love songs. I like if I'm feeling sultry. If I'm feeling sultry, I'll listen to Gaga or Adam Lambert. Or lately, I've been really obsessed with Dua Lipa. I love Dua Lipa. Um, but like honestly, like for sometimes they're not like limited to mood for me. Oh, Tiffany just bought One More Light by Linkin Park. Oh, I still cry when I listen to that album. 100%. That's exactly me with Evanescence's entire discography. I just imagine myself sitting out on a suntan chair, like wearing gothy makeup, just with a parasol, listening to Evanescence music.
I love it.
That's got to turn into a TikTok video someday. It's got to.
That's a punchy TikTok right there. That's what I say to my sister. We don't make my sister doesn't make TikToks. We make punchy TikToks
Yes.
for the kids, you know.
For the kids these days. Okay, so let's see. RP prefers R&B from the late 90s. Rogue Agent prefers heavy metal. Let's see. Leo, when it comes to getting darker, prefers synth, vaporwave, or retrowave music. You're so knowledgeable about music genres. Like like next time we do a music themed episode, we should hit you up and be like, what are these like genres that we should explore that we're not familiar with? Well, at least that I'm not familiar with.
I know, right?
Let's see. Five by Taylor Carson is a little indie song about surviving. I think I've listened to that. We're cool, thank you. High
I never knew.
praise. We
I never knew.
appreciate that. We knew, Ari. We knew we were cool. Hair flip. Um, Tiffany. Um, oh, I would love Celtic Woman to cover some Linkin Park songs. That album that Tiffany just mentioned, I actually have lyrics from a song from that album on my arm from the song Sharp Edges. Ellen says, I just visualized Donny in a gothic dress playing a piano cover of if I found the right wig and I shaved my face and I applied the correct makeup that I do have, I think I could pull it off too. Challenge accepted. That'll be my Halloween costume this Halloween. I will dress up as Amy Lee from Evanescence. So,
I love it.
Random segue.
Perfect.
My partner and I got so serious about Halloween costumes last year that we literally bought padded bras.
Perfect.
To be Velma and Daphne from Scooby-Doo. And I can't stop thinking about how that will benefit me when I end up being Amy Lee for Halloween. Or my other costume idea, I wanted to be the Scarlet Witch from WandaVision, like super bad, but I don't know, that might be, I don't know how I feel about wearing a
Do we need to have a
unitard.
talk, Donny? Are you okay?
I'm just exploring my options. Anyway, but I digress. So, now, Ari, are you the type of person who, because there's types of people. There are people who like to listen to a diversity of things, but they get bored of things really quickly and move on to something new. And there are people like me who get super obsessed with what they're listening to and listen to them nonstop for the rest of their lives. Which are you? Or are you in between?
I'm in between. I have like a few bands that I follow kind of like regularly and like I'll listen to them. But like I still listen to the 90s station in my car and like as I'm going along. And like I still sing along to the same stuff that I've been singing along to for the past 20 years.
Same.
And so like I'm still listening to, What's Up? And I said, hey, 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 hey. I'm still singing along to that.
That's like the perfect barbecue, like backyard barbecue song.
It used to not be. It used to be a song of revolution.
I know. Isn't it interesting to think of how songs change? Like some songs that were meant to be super serious are now like just these
Funky.
casual, funky things that people listen to while they're
Yeah.
entertaining their guests.
Or like listen to in the grocery store.
It's kind of sad when you think about it.
It's true.
But I mean, like what's concerning, I know I went through this phase where I was kind of obsessed with watching those videos where like teenagers are reacting to like 2000s music, and like most of them just they're like, what is this? What is this? What are these oldie songs? And I'm just like, what?
I've been on TikTok and these Gen Z who are like early to mid 20s are reacting to if they know these ultra rare 90s songs, and it's like um they were reacting to like Presidents of the United States of America Peaches was one of the ultra rare like didn't know songs, and I was like, how do you not know this song?
Yeah, like I thought that was a popular
It
song.
is. It is.
Wow. Well, they
I
must
was
have.
I mean, it's all over the place. Like I just run into it all the time, and then just like it'll be like, I don't know this song. I don't know this song. I don't know this song, and it's like,
Oh, yes, I've had that same reaction. Ellen says, speaking of 80s rock pop music is the best cleaning music.
It's
Cleaning
true.
music. Oh my God. Oh
It's
my
true.
God. Yep.
It's true. My sister cleans to 80s music.
I've cleaned to 80s music too. I've also cleaned to like 90s grunge music, like
Hmm.
very grungy. Uh, so Tiffany says there's no such thing as oldies music. I firmly believe that music is timeless.
When I think of like oldies music, though, like I think of like 50s and 60s music. And like that's what our generation thinks of as oldies music, but that's not true. Like Gen Z thinks of like oldies music as like 90s music and like 2000s music.
And it's terrifying.
It's terrifying.
It's truly terrifying. Um, I can like Ari, I just keep thinking about like when we're 50, like like the bands that we loved in the 2000s are going to be like our equivalent of like Queen for like Gen Xers and baby boomers. Literally can't even. And Rogue Agent, it's not weird that you like angry music. 90% of the music I listen to is angry. Not necessarily because I'm an angry person, but well, sometimes, but I just enjoy loudness sometimes, you know.
Ooh, here's a good question for you, Donnie. What's your favorite song?
Oh, for God's sakes. Ari, what a hell of a question. Um, right now or in general?
Yes.
Damn it, Ari. Um, I will answer both. I will answer both. In general, my number one favorite song is an Evanescence song. Duh, of course, you probably expected that. It is the song Good Enough, which is a ballad, and it's about kind of like self worth. And it's just this moment in Evanescence's music where it went from really dark to like an uplifting power ballad of like I finally recognize my self-worth. I deserve things. I deserve people being in my life, and that's always really resonated with me. Right now, I need to stop playing with my hair. It's driving me nuts. Right now, my favorite song is a tie between Rain on Me by Lady Gaga. I love it. And I also like my favorite love song right now is Steady and Sure by Mary Lambert, which came out like a year ago. It's this very beautiful LGBTQ plus themed like love song, and it's really amazing. What about you, Ari? I'm gonna ask you that question now.
Um, okay, so I I've been really influenced by this song by Maisie Starr, Fade Into You.
That sounds familiar.
It's from the 90s. It's such a good song. I really like that version of the song, the original version, but I also like the Ben Harper cover of
Hmm.
Fade Into You. I'll listen to both versions, and it's like it's really like powerful to me. I really like that song. Uh, um, I think Gucci did a commercial with that song. Anyway, uh, of all time, I have a few songs, but like I really like Happy Meal 2 by the Cardigans. And now I found a partner. No one can be happier. Anyway,
I'm
it's a
sorry, I
really
was like breaking down to that.
it's a really cute song about making a meal and like just having dinner with somebody and just having a cute little time with somebody. and it's just a really cute song, and it's got an organ, and their cover of Iron Man is so good too. I really like the Cardigans cover of Iron Man.
You know, like there's just something about covers, especially like a lot of people get really disgruntled over covers because they're like, why are you reinventing something that's been done before? But when you listen to a cover, the newest musician doing it will put their own spin on it, and the song can take on a completely different meaning.
It's true, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And Sweet by Cigarettes After Sex. That's a really good song.
I need to definitely find that. What was the first one you mentioned? It was by Maisie
Star.
Star. That sounds super familiar
Fade
to me.
Into You.
I'm gonna find it after that. I'm gonna write it down really quick. Fade Into You.
It's like primo song. Perfect song.
I love it. I really enjoy listening to music that other people really like, because I really think that you can learn a lot about people too, based on what they really focus on, based on what they absolutely fall in love with musically. So I used to like in high school, because I was super angsty, I would make like CD playlists for people and be like, I can't explain my feelings, but listen to this CD. You'll understand my feelings.
I
And
love mixtapes. I'm
right.
still make. I have a DVD on my new computer. I have a DVD writer, so I could make CDs.
Oh my God. Yes. Oh my God, Ari, we should make CDs and send them to each other. Like CD pen pals.
Yes.
That would be amazing. I used to make this is really gonna sound ancient, but I used to make mixtapes with cassettes too when I was in like middle school. That's okay, so funny story. There's a lot of those tonight. So when my brother and I were younger, my parents were much more religious, and we weren't really allowed to listen to like hard music because it was deemed not a good thing. So we would like, I know I would have to like if somebody else had a song, like instead of taking like their CDs, like I would have them play their song on a speaker and I would record it on a cassette tape so I could listen to it at home. It was completely preposterous, but we had to find some way to get around things.
That's ridiculous. It's super adorable.
I know,
You're
it was
like
laughable.
cuddled up next to it, like, let me just listen to my music.
Like, yeah, like I already had friends who thought that I was like a witch because I listened to Evanescence. And of course I was afraid of my parents, you know, being like, "Oh God, like why are you listening to this Illuminati?"
In middle school, I went through that phase too where I wore all black and people were like, "You're a witch." And I'm like, so what if I
Well,
am?
I'll be like, "Then stay away from me." I'm a gay witch casting gay spells on all the street people. That seems to be what people were afraid of back then. Okay, so I'm noticing a couple of questions in the group chat. So Leo asks, question for you guys, was Calm Down by Taylor Swift a good LGBTQ plus song, or do you have criticisms with it? Did you ever listen to that song, Ari?
I did. Yeah, the video had a lot of gay people in it, LGBTQ plus people in it. Uh, I think that it was a good anthem. It was pretty interesting. Uh, I think it was good. Um, uh, the only criticism I have of it is it's Taylor Swift and Taylor and Taylor Swift. Uh, she isn't. She like. claims to be bi, but like she's not outwardly bi. She says that she's bi, but she's like really on the down low about it. She like isn't like I'm bi. She's like
Really?
she's like apparently that's the rumor is that she's bi. She's
Mm-hmm.
like she's like kind of on the deal about it and that she had a relationship with a woman is the
Interesting.
rumor, but she's not very open about her sexuality because she doesn't like to talk about her sexuality. So that's why she supports all of this LGBTQ plus stuff is
Mm,
because she is actually bi. But so that's my criticism is that it's Taylor Swift and like were actually if she actually supported that stuff and if she is bi, like she would be more vocal about it. But uh if that's the case, like if she were just open about her sexuality.
right. I mean, I do appreciate her using her platform to create a song like that, but I mean, if there is more that can be done, like I think with the level of social influence that she has, like I think it could be very beneficial, for that level of honesty, right?
Right.
RP asks if I'm wearing a band t-shirt. Actually, no, I'm wearing a Star Trek Pride t-shirt. Do. Ellen Evernote. Remind me what Evernote is again? Is that like a program? I think it is. You guys are so funny. Leo asks, so she's kind of actually doing what would be true virtue signaling. Hmm.
Uh,
The negative kind of virtue signaling.
I don't necessarily think it's virtue signaling. I think that what she's doing is she's just she she's not being true to herself necessarily. Like she's like
I think she's just using her platform. Like I don't think I mean she's not being like, "Hey, look at me. I'm doing this. You should be socially acceptable too." Like it's not like a notch in her belt type of thing of advocating. And Tiffany and Rogue Agent make some good points too. Tiffany says maybe she's not ready to talk about her sexuality personally. Rogue says Taylor Swift may not necessarily own any explaining that she's bi unless she wants to, or when she's going to go. I mean, then those are both very valid points. Um, Notes. Okay, Evernote is note syncing. Okay. Yeah, I think that I do think that a celebrity has a level of social responsibility based on like the amount of influence they have, but at the end of the day we also have to remember that they're human beings too. Like if it is something that she's still exploring or trying to understand or all of that, then she should have the time to process that, or even make the decision to be open with it or not, right? Maybe she's not open with it because she just doesn't want, because the media, they'll like sometimes the media will kind of go um
wild.
wild with it, right?
I just was kind of hoping she would be our bi queen.
I know. I mean, Lady Gaga's bisexual.
That's true.
Although I've seen people criticize her for not being as conversational about it as people want her to be, but I mean, I guess we can't really control how conversational people are. Like people are going to represent um when they feel that they're able to represent, right?
And it's true, they might criticize her for not dating enough women, and they might criticize her for not being gay enough, or
And what's sad about that is that's super gatekeepy. Like, I
it's
think,
true.
like, and I know that we've had conversations about gatekeeping, especially within the LGBTQ plus community. I think that's one that's very problematic. Um, Rogue Agent says, I don't care if she's bi, as long as they're happy. Yeah, like I want them to be happy. I mean, I do think representation is important, especially for people in those communities, because it's that validation, that validation of existence that's super important. But representation has really grown so much over the past few years that I think that there are some very good like individuals representing out there right now in the music industry for sure.
Anyway, let's talk about music.
Yes, we really got we really started talking about identity, right? So let's see. Now, I mean, we're getting close to the end here. So, um, do you find that your music is very similar to the people around you and their tastes, or very different?
Mine is very different. My sister loves country music. She is such a country girl. It is ridiculous. My older sister, she loves like 70s and 80s music. She loves like, and she's more of like, I dip my toes into glam rock and like 80s rock, and like I'm sort of okay with it, but like she is like super into hair bands. I'm like, I can't, I'm not as big into hair bands as she is. Like she's like all about the hair bands. And I just can't. And then my sister Rachel, she is a band geek, so she just listens to band music all the time.
I like the people in my life, like we have drastically different preferences too. Like my partner, he very much enjoys country music and rap music. He absolutely loves like Megan the Stallion right now. I do enjoy some of Megan the Stallion's music. Um, but like rap has never been like a huge um draw for me, but I do understand like why people appreciate it. Um yeah,
Didn't
like
she just win some Grammys too?
yeah, she just won 3 Grammys, which is pretty cool. Like I thought that was pretty awesome.
For Best New Artist, I think was one of
Yep,
them.
for Best New Artist, and then she won a Grammy. She won 2 Grammys for her song Savage with Beyonce.
Yep.
Taylor's here. Yay. Yeah, we only have a couple of minutes left. It's good to see you. You'll have to go back through and listen to Ari and I nerd out about all sorts of things. Um, so let's talk a little bit about like last question here. Let's talk a little bit about the pandemic and how it's affected music.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. Ellen, I am carefully avoiding pronouncing that because I don't want to mispronounce that. uh,
I have seen a lot of artists come out with some really interesting music. They've done a lot of at home music where they were um, doing stuff regularly at home, like doing concerts and stuff. Uh, Nora Jones, that's somebody who comes to mind. She was doing a concert a day where she was just uploading videos, and she was just doing these little mini concerts at home. And then she stopped just recently because things were getting better. But she was uploading a video probably once every day or so, um, of her just playing on the piano, playing the guitar, just singing her music, singing covers. Uh, and It was beautiful, and it was so good.
Wow. But like, see, that's wonderful. Like, I really do think that the pandemic has made the musicians that we love and appreciate more accessible in the sense of like through like the internet, because like obviously a lot of musicians had to do something in order to make money during this. They had to do something to make a connection with their audiences. Um like case in point, um like Evanescence, they were like this their album that they're releasing this year was supposed to be released last year, and it's their first album in 10 years of original music. So obviously the pandemic significantly altered their plan, changed how they like one of their band members is in Germany, so like like she literally can't come over, so they had to do everything virtually. And then of course we have to think about how like the amount of people whose jobs are tied to the music industry, right? Not only the musicians themselves, but crew people and um recording musicians who like record their instruments like for the songs and albums, so on and so forth. Like there's a lot of people connected to that. So I saw a lot of bands doing like fundraisers and stuff so they could help sustain their crews, which I thought was phenomenal. But like, I'm not gonna lie, I am very much excited for live music to be a thing again because I've been really, really, really wanting to go to a concert or five.
Yeah, I've been wanting to go see some concerts this year, or next year. Um, because it's just not the same watching it online.
Yeah, it isn't. Like, it is definitely a different feeling being there. I know Ari and I were talking about this before, um, but like I was supposed to go to a Weezer, Green Day, and Fall Out Boy concert. It was like a concert in one of all three of them. It was supposed to be last year, but it got postponed to this summer, so I don't know if that's even going to happen. But I was really looking forward to that. So I am so happy we got to nerd out about music tonight.
It was good.
It was therapy. All right. Well, my friends, we have come to the end of our show tonight. Ari, do you have any parting words? Words of wisdom?
uh, Whatever it is, rock on with your favorite playlist and keep listening.
I love it. Yep, I love it. All right, my friends, thank you for joining us tonight. We love you and see you next week. Bye.